for some peace of mind, but TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat, and someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line, and Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling, my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling out the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone. It is December now. So if you have any of those subscriptions that you have to cancel by the 5th of the month, I'm looking at myself now, just remember that you should probably cancel those subscriptions now, because if you forget, you're going to have to buy a new set of workout clothes or whatever it is that you're, subscribed to. So I do like to give you guys a little bit of a warning. I do have bingo up, which I worked on this morning. So there are new options, and I will try to be better at adding stuff to that. Cause yeah, I was supposed to do that yesterday, but, it was friggin' flapjack cold yesterday. And my body was like, get out of bed in your warm, tunnel and go sit in the cold, or stay in my warm little area. And I don't know about anyone else, but staying in my, fortress of blankitude was definitely the order of the day yesterday. So I did not do all of my Sunday prep, but I got everything done because, when you wake up at 4, you are able to get some things done if you actually are diligent and don't, spend time just aimlessly browsing, which sometimes I do. We have got a ton of news, a new segment, Advent Countdown of the weirdest headlines of 2025. A way to save money, not get an advent calendar, but still bring you guys something that celebrates the essence of Mornings with Mo. So get your bingo card, because we're about to dive in to headlines. Now, this one is a bit out of the scope of what I usually cover, but this is going to be big internationally. Trump has basically told the leader of Venezuela, commonly known as a dictator, depending on what side you see. Again, I'm not here to give you that, you should pick this side, you should pick that side. I'm more here to tell you what's going on. But it does look like things are heating up to the point that this might be a way to avoid actual conflict. It does look like through diplomatic sources, Trump has told the leader of Venezuela that he would be allowed safe passage from Venezuela. Basically, he could leave the country and not face any sort of issues, giving them a way for both countries to avoid any conflict, which... Now, that being said, I am not a Maduro expert. I am not an international diplomacy expert, so I don't know what this means on the greater scale. What I do know in, my own personal observations is that this might be the final stop-off that we have before this turns into an actual conflict. So I don't know. It is something to keep an eye on. So into the article, President Trump gave Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro a strongly worded ultimatum as tensions are flaring between the South American nation and the current administration of the United States, basically telling him to resign and leave or else, according to a bombshell report. Now, during a call between Trump and Maduro, the president, Maduro, did say that he should be allowed to maintain control of the Venezuelan military if he paved the way for, free and fair elections. So basically, it was a negotiation. Now, Maduro reportedly sought global amnesty for his alleged crimes against his own citizenry. Now, Trump refused on both counts, according to sources that were close to this, but followed up with an offer that Maduro may not be able to refuse, basically leave now or else. Now, again, I am not, the smartest on international politics and where this goes from here, but this does seem like a further drawing of the line, and it definitely seems like things could be escalating. This is a pretty big thing to throw at another leader of a country, basically leave or else. So this is something I would keep an eye on, not to fearmonger you guys, but this is possibly something that could be a little bit titchy. Well, in legal news, I mean, with family like this, who needs enemies? A woman sues to horn in on her sister's $28 million inheritance after discovering a family tie on 23andMe. Uh, Reason number 11 billion and 12, you should not give your DNA to companies or the government. A Massachusetts woman gained two long-lost sisters through a DNA test, then tried to net a fortune when she sued them a month later over a malpractice settlement involving their father. Now, Carmen Thomas, 28, took a 23andMe DNA test in February 2023 and learned that she had two biological sisters, Callie and Abigail Brown, whose father, Joe, had passed away in 2018 from an undiagnosed aortic aneurysm. And I think that this is something we need to keep an eye on with. This is going to be a whole new set of probate law sort of statutes that we have to look at, undeclared or sort of unresolved family linkages and how they interact with probate law is probably going to become something very big as these sort of secretive and not known family ties are being exposed by 23andMe. That's kind of why I pulled out this headline, because I do foresee more of these cases happening as family members we didn't know about. Maybe secret family members come out of the woodwork. Now, Joe was 43 when he was admitted to Salem Hospital that January after complaining of pain spreading from his upper abdomen to his chest and back. Now, after Joe spent nearly the entire day in pain and struggling to breathe, doctors determined that he had been suffering with an aneurysm, but it was too late to save him. He basically died from the aneurysm that day. So by the time they figured out what happened, unfortunately, it was too late. Now, Callie, Abigail, and their mother, Kristen, so the biological family that was known about, did sue the hospital, claiming that its failure to diagnose Joe in a timely fashion cost precious hours that could have, saved him or saved his life. Now, the jury agreed in that trial and awarded the grieving family a whopping $28.8 million in April of 2023, just a month after, Thomas had contacted her half-sister, hoping to introduce herself to her father's kind of unknown family. Now, once Thomas found out about the settlement, she went on to sue her half-sisters, hoping for a payout. Now, in the Thomas lawsuit against the family, she emphasized what appeared to be a joyous reunion between all of them the month before the settlement, including photos that were taken when they met. But the Browns said in their opposition filing that Abigail and Callie were actually really upset and hesitant to meet with Thomas, but went against their gut instincts out of kindness and sort of familial ties. Now, the sisters quickly regretted their act when Thomas grew assertive and possessive of the family from the very beginning. Now, the Browns' lawyer wrote that Thomas attempted to prey on the family financially and emotionally by demanding that they pay for her food, gas, and alcohol, disturbingly claiming that she would even threaten to self-harm if they didn't respond to her messages. Now, once Thomas learned of the settlement, everything quickly unraveled, according to him. The plaintiff's gambit of attempting to obtain an injunction to freeze assets of a grieving family is not only meritless as a matter of law, it should be seen as an affront to this court. Now, the family was stunned by the suit, but I do think that these are going to be legal questions that will have to be answered because, this is a new climate. We didn't have, these DNA repositories where you find out suddenly you're linked to, a bunch of other people. So It does look interesting. I think it does bring a whole new ethics and maybe, color to the law. And maybe the laws and statutes need to be upgraded to protect families from this. I mean, at what point are you entitled to things or you're not? And, probate law, do we have established clauses that deal with this? I'm not a lawyerologist, but it does look like a very interesting thing and facet of the law that has to change due to increasing or differing technology. Well, this douche canoe is back in court. The eyebrow man, Luigi Mangione, is due back in court for a pivotal hearing on his backpack, and of course he is going to be allowed to wear civilian clothing. Now, Luigi Mangione, charged with executing the head of America's largest healthcare company on a midtown sidewalk, is due back in court on Monday for an evidentiary hearing that could make or break his case. Now, the 27-year-old from a wealthy Maryland family, is expected to be able to wear civilian clothing during this marathon proceeding where prosecutors are expected to call more than 24 witnesses who were involved in his arrest. Now, this hearing will probe Mangione's claims that his rights were breached when officers searched his backpack without a warrant after the arrest of him inside an Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's. So basically, this is where we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of this case, whether this is all fruit of a poisonous tree. So this could be a very make or break part of this case, especially given the evidence they find in the backpack. I will be completely transparent. I haven't kept up with the Luigi Mangione case. I have no idea, if his backpack was searched with, the correct procedures or not. So I have no idea on this one, but it is something that is going to be happening. Now, if the judge agrees that, basically his rights were denied, it could be a crippling blow to prosecutors in the state, blocking them from showing what was inside the bag, including the force multiplier that it was allegedly used to take the life of Brian Thompson, and a notebook where Mangione allegedly explained his motive for this assassination. So it will be interesting to see. Again, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is planning to call at least 28 witnesses to the stand and play hours of body cam footage. The hearing could last up to a week. One of Mangione's lawyers, Mark Engolfino, told the judge last Monday that basically this is going to be a long, long thing. This is a pivotal part of the case. Now, this will be an interesting thing. Now, because New York does not, stream their stuff, we will have to depend on lawyers that are covering this. I will not be covering this case. I am going to be covering the Brian Walsh case, or Walshy. Look, I still don't know if we pronounce the E. That's how on top of this I am. But I will be keeping you guys updated on the really large cases that are going on. So do keep an eye on this one if you are interested in this case. Expect that this will be a long hearing and it won't be decided right away. But it does look like we are getting into the meat and potatoes of this case. And as a lot of us who watch trials know, a lot of a trial is, won or lost in these motion in limine. So it will be really interesting to see how this goes. In a case that was very, very close to me, in fact, this is one of the high schools that my daughters play against routinely. One of my daughters. I have one athletic daughter, and then the rest are like me, athletes, no. But this is a school that I have gone to for, competitions. It's not far away. This was terrifying. Basically, my daughters brought home news of this story before it even broke because of the, teen gossip network. But this was terrifying, you guys. An Indiana teen was planning a mass casualty event at a school until her friend tipped off the FBI. Now she is being sentenced. Now, this is a case that I did bring to you, but being that it was so close to my home, I really haven't. It was jarring, you guys. It's a lot different to report on anywhere else, but when a high school, when a town that you drive through, a lot is one of the towns that you have to report on. And thank God this time nothing happened, but it kind of rocked me. I am not going to lie. And and good on her friend for, giving a tip, for seeing something and saying something, so I didn't have to report on just another tragedy. A teenager convicted of plotting a mass shooting at an Indiana high school earlier this year has been sentenced. Trinity Shockley was, okay, so I guess she has been sentenced. Sorry, you guys. Was sentenced on November 24th to 20 years in prison with 8 years suspended after pleading guilty to conspiracy to commit murder, according to court records. Now, her sentence will be followed by 5 years of probation. The 19-year-old apparently or reportedly became emotional in court, apologizing to an intended target and the community, saying, quote, "I'm sorry I put you in that position of fear," end quote. That is from WFYI local news reporting. Shockley also added, "It's gotten a lot better since I've been surrounded by people that care about me," referring to her mental health. Now, Shockley was arrested after the FBI's Sandy Hook tip line was alerted by the teen's friend, who claimed that Shockley, at that time a 12th grade student, was planning to commit a mass casualty event at Mooresville High School on February 14th, per a probable cause affidavit. Now, the tipster said that Shockley did have access to an AR-15 and had ordered tactical gear, a protective bulletproof vest, and that she admired Nicholas Cruz, the, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas nutbag. Now, Shockley did claim that she had previously been a victim of bullying. However, I do know that the community rallied around her family. There was a tragedy in her family much prior to this, in which the community basically rallied together, raised money, and supported her family. I cannot remember for the life of me at this moment what that was, but I do know that this came as a big shock and betrayal to a lot of the local community members, because there had been a community outreach that went directly to this family after something happened. And for this child, who had been so greatly supported by the community, to want to attack, for whatever reason, it felt like a great big betrayal. If I can give you a little inside baseball. Now, her attorney, Joseph Gaunt, said that his client never intended to go through with the mass casualty. She knew she couldn't do it, but she did talk about it, he said, per, his contact with the media. Now, Morgan County Deputy Prosecutor Cassie Melliday said that she felt that the sentencing was a fair outcome. In this case, there was a significant amount of planning that was involved, so I tried to match the plea agreement to that. Thank you, JKD Buck. I knew it was something, and I just couldn't. I know you guys are going to be shocked, but there's a lot of trials to remember, and I might not remember all of them at all times. Now, Australia, I'm going to need you to explain yourself, but more thoroughly, I'm going to need you to explain, you know what, Australia, I think you have the right point. I say we make all files have to wear outfits like this so we can actively know what they look like. Australian police have arrested 4 accused in and go ahead and you can mark WTF, let's see, 2024 or 2025, are you okay? And let's see, what the hell? In a satanic child grossness material ring. Now, child grossness is satanic any way you slice it, but to add the extra Satan, like you have 11 herbs of spices and then you add double Satan, great. Why not? Authorities in Australia on Monday say they have arrested and charged 4 Sydney men for their alleged role in what they called an international satanic child grossness material ring. Now, the suspects were detained on Thursday while police executed 6 search warrants in the Sydney regions of Waterloo, Ultimo, Malabar, New South Wales. So that's where they all kind of got this. Now, at the Waterloo residence, a 26-year-old man was arrested. Police allege that he played a leading role in the group. Now, 3 other suspects are aged 39, 42, and 49 and were arrested at a unit block in Malbar. Now, the suspects were arrested by officers of Strike Force Constantine, which investigates the distribution online of grossness of child material involving ritualistic or satanic themes. Apparently, there is a smorgasbord of categories of child grossness, which is a sentence that should make all of us want to mark center of the sun. So there are picture ones, and if you have one that looks like the sun and the center of the sun, you can go ahead and do that, because center of the sun, we don't even need Lord Chippy at this point. Now, officers with this task force uncovered what New South Wales Police Force said was a Sydney-based file network involving in the facilitating, possessing, and distributing of this illegal material via websites. Now, all 4 men were declined bail on Friday. A video of the arrest at the Waterloo location was shared with reporter, showing masked officers in tactical gear storm an apartment and the 26-year-old suspect seen dressed in zebra print for no GD reason, escorted from the residence in handcuffs. Now, he was able to wear a baseball cap and hide most of his face from the media. However, I don't think anyone's going to forget that you dressed up like you were the zebra Marty from Madagascar. No, let me see what's going on and make sure I am on the right audio. Yes. I did have it further away because I tend to gesticulate and then I end up hitting it, but that should work a little better. So there you go. Now, in an interesting update, and this has been a case that I do hope gets resolved in my lifetime. Regardless, I don't have a dog in this fight except for justice. I don't care who eventually gets found out as the person who took this young, beautiful girl's life. I really don't. I just want an answer. So I do hope that within our lifetimes, within my lifetime, we get answers to this question. Now, John Benet Ramsey's father has broken his silence after the death of the DA who led the cold case. Now, anyone who's been involved in the John Benet Ramsey case knows that there's not a lot of love lost between the Ramsey family and the DA office. However, and it is interesting that John Ramsey has broken his silence after Alex Hunter, the prosecutor who oversaw the earliest phase of the 1996 unsolved murder, he does, praise Hunter for maintaining professionalism in public pressure. So it is interesting that of all of the sort of prosecutors that the Ramseys seem to have a lot of problems with after his passing, he does seem to say a couple good things about this guy. Now, again, this isn't really forward progress. We haven't heard a whole lot more about the case, other than it looks like they did send new things for some more of the ancestral DNA testing, but that's all I've heard thus far. I will try to keep you updated on this, but I thought it was interesting that John Ramsey, who has never been a fan of the Boulder DA, did have some nice things to say. Now, Katy Perry, in a bid to be one of the most, and I don't know what's going on with my color monitor. I need to probably restart my computer, so there you go. But in a bid to be just more loathable than ever, she will receive a $1.8 million payout from a dying veteran aged 85 after a years-long battle over a Montecito mansion. Now, whether this is a Pyrrhic victory where, yes, she won the mansion, but she made everyone realize that she was willing to go after a elderly veteran who had dementia in order to get it. I don't know what you're trying to win here. I don't think Katy Perry is living on the street and, if not for this mansion, she's going to be homeless. I think she could have waited for this veteran to maybe pass on and simply, be a bigger person. But no. Katy Perry has scored a major victory in her long, messy, and kind of gross legal war over a Montecito, California mansion that she purchased over 5 years ago. Carl Westcott, a 85-year-old disabled veteran and the former owner of the property, has been ordered to cough up $1.84 million after the judge ruled that the pop star had lost out on a hefty rental income during this drawn-out legal battle. And she wonders why no one wants to go to her concerts anymore. You weren't a great singer and you're an utter douchebag. Now, the dispute centered on a $15 million estate that Perry, 41, and her then partner, Orlando Bloom, bought during, 2020. Now, just days after signing the contract, Westcott tried to pull the plug. He claimed he had been recovering from major back surgery and under heavy medication, which left him too impaired to understand what he was signing in the contract. Now, he also pointed out that he was suffering from Huntington's disease, a pre-existing neurological condition, which he had been diagnosed with in 2015, as further proof that he lacked the capacity to approve this $1 million sale. Now, Perry and Bloom's team fired back that the deal was valid and Westcott had been fully aware to what he agreed on. So basically, the court and the judge have sided with Katy Perry. Now, I mean, yay for you. You get a mansion. You basically conned a man who was heavily sedated. Wonderful. I hope you feel great, you absolute jerk face. Katy Perry, just go away. Katy Perry, no one cares. Go live in your mansion as the rest of the world ignores you. Well, in shocking kind of interesting news, it looks like Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes has had nearly 3 years knocked off her prison sentence. I guess it pays to have money. Disgraced Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes has had roughly 3 years shaved off her prison sentence for defrauding investors in her failed blood testing startup, Business Insider has learned. Now, Holmes reported to a minimum security prison camp in Texas on May 30th, 2023, after she was sentenced in 2022 to 11 years and 3 months behind bars. Now, according to online records from the Federal Bureau of Prison, she is projected to have a release date of December 30th, 2031, which means that if nothing changes, she would be set free 2 years and 8 months early. Well, I'm sure her bankrupt investors will really, be happy with that. Now, attorneys for Holmes nor the Bureau of Prisons have responded to this, so we don't exactly know if this is, accumulated good behavior stuff or what that's going to happen. But it does look like, for reasons unknown as of right now, she has accumulated good behavior time or something to get her, out of serving her full sentence. Just absolute terrible. And that being, I think this is worse. I mean, she destroyed how many lives, and yet she's going to get good behavior? Okay. Well, I mean, this douche canoe. Again, if I didn't have Center of the Sun, you may go ahead and mark the reason that aliens won't talk to us. That is simply the picture of the aliens if you have it on your bingo card. Because Brian Koberger complaining about prison bananas has to be one of the reasons that ET won't give us, advanced quantum, engines or whatever they are. Look, I don't know what you would do with advanced quantum whatever stuff. It's not like I'm in charge of a alien, invasion. Well, it seems like convicted unaliver Brian Koberger was recently accused of throwing a daggone tantrum over the fruit selection at his maximum security Idaho prison. The 31-year-old has reportedly been complaining about the types of bananas that he's being served. Don't care. They're not the kind he likes, McDonald told Daily Mail. I'm not sure if that means they may have bruises on them and he doesn't like that, or if there's a particular type of banana that he likes, but he's complaining about the food he's getting. Don't care. Do not care. Now, the Idaho Department of Corrections did not immediately confirm whether they were abusing Brian Kohberger with bruised bananas. Or, explaining the conditions of bananas in general at their, holding facilities. You can't make this stuff up, right? McDonald said. The guy's a quadruple killer, and he's complaining about his bananas not being the type that he likes. Now, Kohberger has been nicknamed a jailhouse Karen and has filed numerous complaints about his living conditions, since arriving in the prison. Now, according to media reports, he complained about being threatened and harassed by fellow inmates, wrote a complaint about not getting his food at meal times, and asked to be relocated to another wing of the prison. The prison keeps saying, well, deal with it, like I would. So there you go. I don't care. Send him, I would send in kiwis and a banana, make it an entire phallic, cornucopia. But that's just me. I'd file his complaints in the same place I'd file things to go into my wood stove. They're back in the habit and on the lam. Elderly Austrian nuns, well, they're not on the lam. We know exactly where they are. Elderly Austrian nuns who broke back into their convent will be allowed to stay, but there are conditions. Nothing like Austria, punishing nuns and kicking them out of convents. Where have I heard this story before? Austria, do better. Now, when 3 octogenarian nuns fled their nursing home and broke back into their former convent in Salzburg, Austria, they became overnight stars. Almost every major news outlet has covered them, and they've gained 100,000 followers on Instagram, where they post their daily routines. A combination of praying, meeting with the community, and surprisingly enough, boxing to keep fit. These nuns know Tai Bo. You better confess. And now, 3 months later, the local diocese has confirmed that Sister Regina, 86, Sister Rita, 81, and Sister Bernadette, 88, will be allowed to stay at Schloss Goldstein, but only if they agree to certain, will do, no kiwis. Yeah, and I thought the bananas were only one single species. I thought that the kind of more seeded banana had been bred out. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not a bananaologist. Despite having 6 kids, I'm not a bananaologist. Now, the nuns will have to close their social media accounts, return to a more secluded monastic life, and will be put on a waiting list back at the nursing home for when they cannot be cared for by the convent. Now, in the meantime, they will be provided with 24-hour medical care and spiritual guidance from a priest, according to a statement released by their superior, Provost Marcus Grassel, on Friday. Now, the nuns returned to Schloss Goldstein, the Alpine convent and girls' school where they had spent most of their lives, on September 4th after several of their former students helped them flee their nursing home. Okay, Netflix, Hollywood, look at me. This is the heist tale that I need. You want to make a summer blockbuster that everyone will watch? Nuns on the Run. A heist movie involving nuns trying to break back into their convent and out of the elderly nursing home. I would watch the shit out of that, especially if you had a scene with the nuns stealing the carburetor and a spine from The Sound of Music. I mean, Netflix, seriously, talk to me. I can come up with a script. Me and ChatGPT can come up with a script in about 5 minutes. Now, basically, after their students helped them go on the lam from the nursing home, they arranged for a locksmith to break them back into the building. Now, this came after what was almost a 2-year-long dispute between the sisters and Provost Grassel, which began at the end of 2023 when the nuns say that they were removed from the convent against their will. Now, in August, despite further escalation between the nuns, making several allegations against Grossel and the Archdiocese of Salzburg in the press. So this was something that was definitely being done against the nuns' will. They just wanted to stay where they lived for all of this. Now, reporting conditions are restrictive. So according to the lawyer representing the women, he said he would not advise them to accept the offer. Basically, the lawyer is saying, once you get rid of your social media, the archdiocese can change their mind and you would have no recourse to try to get back in touch with all the people who have helped you stay in this convent for now. It does seem like, this might not be the end, because it doesn't look like the nuns are going to be taking their social media down. But it is an interesting story. Now, the Instagram footage also shows, workers installing stair lifts in the monastery, which the nuns say were removed when they were at the nursing home, and showing sisters making candles with their former students and whistling. I say keep it back. Let the nuns stay there. Hell, I'll move over and help them out. I mean, at this point, let the nuns stay where they are. Diocese, stop being so daggone evil. Now, you may go ahead and mark crime against foodmanity, because what in the name of all that is wrong with the world is this? Now, thank goodness this is over and it didn't sell anywhere near me, but Long Island Pizzeria has gone viral, or went viral, for a Thanksgiving Day pie with all the trimmings. They sold over 500 of these amalgamations of evil. While Pino's Pizza of Deer Park has something savory to be thankful for this Turkey Day, their viral Thanksgiving pizza pie, which is served with sliced roast turkey breast, gravy, sausage, and apple cornbread stuffing, topped off with cranberry sauce. No. Ew. Like, none of this is a good idea. Now, customers, decided to try it, and the pie went for $34.99, and they sold over 500 of these monstrosities. People from Tom River, New Jersey came to buy it. The owner, Joseph Barbareri, told the Post, "The biggest request I get is, can you ship it?" Why? No. This is not a pizza. This is an atrocity on a crust. I can't. I mean, y'all can go ahead and try it, but that's going to be a no for me. Yeah, I don't. How do you solve a problem like a nurse who won't die, or no, a nun who won't die? How do you solve a problem like longevity? How do you get these nuns to just go by? Look, Andrew Lloyd Webber and I are going to be thinking about it. Well, at least this kid is smarter than me. A 14-year-old has won $25,000 for origami. Now, he claims that he discovered a pattern that can hold up to 10,000 times its own weight. Now, origami takes precision, noticing fine details, and patience. All things that I do not have, which is why I never mastered origami. Go figure. Now, while most 14-year-olds are folding paper airplanes, Miles Wu was folding origami patterns that he believed could one day improve disaster relief. Now, the New York City teen just won $25,000 for a research project based on an origami fold called Miriori, known for collapsing and expanding with precision. I've been folding origami as a hobby for more than 6 years, mostly of animals or insects, Wu told Business Insider, but recently I've been designing my own origami too. Now, for his project, which won top prize at the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge In October, Wu spent months determining whether the strength to weight ratio of the Miura fold can be leveraged to improve deployable structures used in emergency situations. So essentially, he tested how much weight the fold could handle across different types of paper and parallelogram heights, parallelogram widths, and angles. So he used all the math. I mean, now, this is something I wouldn't do, but God bless children and adult people who understand mathology to do stuff like this. Now, Wu said he got the idea about learning about national disasters like January's wildfires in Southern California and Hurricane Helene, which hit the southeast U.S. in 2024. He's also studied how people use origami in STEM disciplines, including the medical field. A problem with the current deployable structures and emergency structures is, for example, that tents are sometimes strong, but sometimes they don't compact really well, or sometimes they're easily deployable, but they're, not strong or compact. So they're never usually getting all three of those things: compact, structurally strong, and easily deployable. They're usually getting one or two of those, but generally not three. So he is hoping to use the folding origami technique to make this, easier and better to make shelters that are strong and easy to deploy. So, good luck on him. He's done more research on this than I've done on a lot of things, to be fair. Honestly, the story makes me feel like, what are you doing with your life? This teenager's, fixing the world, and you're looking at sexy chicken costumes. Which is another way to fix the world, sort of. Well, I decided since it's Monday, wait, we've got a new segment, so let me pull that up while I'm trying to be professional-ish here. But we do have a new segment. Let me get me here.
2025 is nearly done, so grab your cocoa, here's the fun. Every day's a brand new spree of what the hell absurdity. From runaway, emos on the loose to news you swear was fake, but true. Mo's got the snark, you bring the tea. It's the WFT Advent Countdown with Mosh.
Yes, sexy chicken costume. I waited until Halloween was over, and then I go to my favorite sites to look at all the costumes for cosplay news and just general shenanigans. And on fun.com, they had it was originally $50. I don't know why anyone would pay $50 for a sexy chicken costume. But it was only $7.99, so I said yes. So basically, it's just like a white dress with feathers on it and a head. I don't know why anyone decided sexy chicken, but that is a good segue to plug my channel. I do have the poll for Cosplay Wednesday. It's Elvira versus sexy chicken. Now, I know what I would pick, but you guys are free to pick your own whatever. Now, for our first absurd story, it looks like Yellowstone might actually be harboring life that we didn't know about underground. The mole people are among us. Researchers studying Yellowstone's depths discovered that the small earthquakes can actually recharge underground microbial life. So the microbes like to be shaken, not stirred. Quakes expose new rocks and fluid, creating bursts of chemical energy that microbes use. So basically, every time the earth shakes, another microbe gets its wings. Or something to that effect. I don't know. But they will get progressively more odd. This is just the start of the odd news. But I figured we would add an Advent style, segment, because we've got a lot of news and a lot of crazy. And now we get to the part where it's basically the entire rest of the stream is what in the Walmart rapture, or our favorite, segment, Final Form Jesus, protect us.
The key keeps its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
All right. Well, I figured for our first story in the final form Jesus, well, we would at least celebrate a painting that's been found of him. Microbial farts. Hey, works for me. In other news, Yellowstone is responsible for half of Florida. That wouldn't shock me. A lost Rubens painting of Jesus's crucifixion has been auctioned off for $2.7 million, nearly 400 years after it vanished. Now, how does a painting vanish, especially a Rubens, when he was known to, paint really large women? I mean, at least he kept Jesus skinny, allegedly. Now, a painting depicting the crucifixion rendered by Baroque master Peter Paul Rubens has sold for nearly $3 million at an auction in Versailles Sunday after it was hidden for nearly 4 centuries. Now, the masterpiece was only recently rediscovered in a private townhouse in Paris, over 400 years since it had last been seen. Now, Rubens was best known for his other depiction of Jesus, namely Christ on a cross, which shows the full scene of the crucifixion, complete with the 2 thieves that were flanking Jesus. Now, this newly discovered painting is a solo portrait of Jesus, so before a particularly bleak background. So, interesting? Yeah, it's almost like we had some people stealing a bunch of artwork. I mean, Goering, I'm not looking at anyone, but Herman, you stole a bunch of crap. And then you shuffled yourself off the mortal coil before you told us where you hid half of the crap. Now, when this painting was first found in this townhouse, it did have to be, examined, and people were quite shocked that this was in fact, the 400-year-old lost painting. Now, myself not having $2.7 million to spend, I passed on this auction. But I did think it was right to put, Jesus in the front bit of final form Jesus. Well, I didn't have teddy bears from space, but if you did have teddy bears from space on your bingo card of your own, mark that off. A school is seeking help trying to find a teddy bear that fell from the stratosphere. I have questions. A school in England is asking for the public's help to find a missing teddy bear that was sent into the stratosphere with a weather balloon and fell to Earth. Now, the Walhampton School said that Bradford Bear was sent into the sky from Lymington, Hampshire, by the 7th and 8th grade students working together with Southampton University Space Flight Society. Now, the camera on board the balloon recorded Bradford's journey into the upper atmosphere and captured the moment when the stuffed toy jostled free from his perch in the stratosphere somewhere above Henley-on-Thames on November 10th. Now, Bradford Bear was expected to parachute safely along with the rest of the balloon's cargo into the Basingstoke area, but he is now believed to have landed somewhere between Early and Folly in Henley-on-the-Thames. I am probably saying these things wrong, so I apologize to UK listeners. I do geek out on UK news. Doesn't mean I can pronounce any of the Shire names. Now, if you have any information regarding these stuffed bears' whereabouts, no matter how small, please let us know. Any video footage or details would be hugely appreciated. Now, Ellie Robinson, the science teacher at Walhampton School, told the BBC that Bradford Bear did amazingly by reaching an altitude of about 16.7 miles above the ground. I'm sure he's fine, and we have reassured the children that he is very brave and resourceful. Well, you are working with, 7th and 8th grade students. I don't think they need to be told that the stuffed animal is going to be fine. That being said, let's find him. Now, I already put the pizza up there, but foodtrocities are becoming a thing, and we need to fight back against it. Now, apparently there is a Brazilian ant-infused cheese. And I say no. No, if there are ants on food, we throw it away. That's what we do. Tanita Salvina is a unique cheese made by a single producer. I can't imagine why. There's only one producer of ant cheese. Who thought of mixing milk with native leafcutter ants? Because, I mean, you have a bunch of milk and you have a bunch of ants. What are you going to do at the end of the day? Now, Camila Amida, the owner and founder of this cheese atrocity, came up with the idea while brainstorming ideas to attract tourists to rural areas. She wanted something that really made her region stand out, and she remembered that people of the area long had eaten the, leafcutter ants as part of local cuisine. Now, since her farm produced, cheese, she thought, cheese, ants, why not? I mean, that can be the only explanation for this and the pimento loaf. Actually, anyone alive when there were all the loaves? Why? Why were there disparate and redonkulous things put into a meat product and then shoved into a loaf pan? I mean, I get it. I don't get it. Actually, no, I don't. Olive loaf is gross. My mom likes it. I still contend it's one of the grossest things on the planet, but I'm a picky eater. So I probably will stick with my chicken tenders with a side of ranch. Now, as of today, it turns out that she was actually right. Ant cheese has apparently won a bunch of international awards, including in the most naughty cheese country in the world, France, not Wisconsin. Now, I'm not telling y'all how to live your life, but I will not be eating the ant cheese. But there is a process. Apparently, they toast the ants before adding them to the cheese during the forming process. It's a huge challenge because working with ants, is a hard process. I think the universe was trying to tell you that this was a bad idea and you just kept pushing it. So there you go. Ant cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Now, if you're looking to maybe beat, the clock or time or the wrinkles on your face, well, don't throw those potato peelings down the garbage disposal, A, because it will wreck your garbage disposal, which, can I rant for just 5 seconds? Okay, now I get that I'm not the smartest person in the entire world, and I get that, fine, you can't put potato peels down a garbage disposal. Fine, I get that. What the hell are we supposed to use the garbage disposal? See, I bought a garbage disposal figuring I wouldn't have to haul my behind, to the trash can to let, food basically decompose in my kitchen. Like, I thought that that's what that was for. Now, apparently my husband informed me after I killed our first garbage disposal that no, potato peels, carrot peels, and all sorts of peel stuff do not go in the disposal. So I contend, what the hell is the disposal for? But if you don't want your husband to be sad at you, do not put garbage peels down the disposal. Put them on your face. I mean, because if anything, that will make your husband question his sanity and you might get a more powerful garbage disposal. Well, you don't have to use snail mucus anymore. It looks like your next glow up might just come from a potato. Scientists at the University of Aberdeen have been turning discarded potatoes, their stems and leaves, into high-value ingredients for both skin care and cosmetics. Now, these parts are normally tossed after the harvest, but they are being tapped for solanisol, a key compound used in coenzyme Q10 and vitamin K2, which are staples in moisturizers and other anti-aging products. Ireland and the potato, how many more things can you bring to our lives? Now, the project could even cut out tobacco as a main source of salinosol and reduce agricultural waste, creating new income for Scottish farmers. Which I guess potatoes is more of a Scottish thing now? Good to know. With over 12,800 hectares of seed potatoes grown in Scotland, experts say that this industry, or these new sort of uses for this kind of waste, could churn out enough salinosol to fuel a cosmetic revolution. Now, the project is particularly significant for Grampian growers and the wider potato industry. So there you go. If you're a potato farmer, keep those leaves. I'm going to grow some potatoes just so I don't have to go to the farmers. I'm not going to... I mean, I've got some potatoes. I don't know what's going on, why everyone of my videos is looking like crazy people, but I mean, if you want to put a potato on your face, I'm not going to stop you. As a person who has had squirrels cut her brake lines, and I do mean quite literally, like I am driving and my brakes go out, and when we took it to, I pulled off the road, I was safe. But when we took it to the, lift place with the mechanics, they're like, yeah, it looks like they totally chewed through your brake lines. I'm just glad that small woodland creatures hate other people too. A man found his car stuffed with more than 40 pounds of hazelnuts. I mean, do you like Nutella? Mr. Wang, a motorist from GC City, China, in one of China's provinces, had long been hearing strange rattling noises from under the hood of his car. Now, even though they got worse over time, he never bothered to have it really looked out. Until last week, when he noticed that the car's heating system had appeared to malfunction, so he finally went to the garage for a checkup. Now, on November 20th, when he took his car to his friend's garage, he discovered that the entire area below the windshield under the hood was full of hazelnuts, as we always do. But that didn't really explain the heating issue, not until the mechanic inspected the air vents and found them also clogged with hazelnuts. Even the cabin's filter was completely full of hazelnuts. How did this happen? Also, make Nutella out of it. The maintenance started at 9 a.m. that day and wasn't over until 11 a.m. All the hazelnuts had been removed. Wang wrote on Weibo, adding that his car is mainly parked in a garage, so squirrels really couldn't have gotten in. Do you have an ex-girlfriend that hates you? Now, the Chinese motorist blamed rats instead for stuffing his car full of hazelnuts. Now, he had them stored in a... Okay, so this man was storing hazelnuts in his garage for some reason and found that more than half of the hazelnuts had been moved into his car by the rodents. Now, he plans to get traps to stop the rats. Oh, good Lord. And finally, a smart move for single people. Women are ditching dating apps and instead searching for where hot guys eat in real life. And men seem to be, liking this more. I mean, who'da thunk? Who'da thunk that, just trying to figure out where hot guys congregate would be more effective than Tinder? Apparently, the latest way to find a guy is to Google where hot guys eat in real life, a social media series where the content creator interviews attractive New Yorkers and asks them to reveal the bars and restaurants where they frequent. And it's quickly become a favorite among, single women in New York. So there you go. Just ask random hot people where they go and then stalk them. I mean, seems more effective than Twitter. Do not stalk people, though. It's not considered good and it's kind of bad. Now to the part that makes Mondays worthwhile, the cringe-larity that Mo finds. And because it's Monday and we all maybe need to start with more limber, more elasticity to go into the new week, we have psychedelic yoga, which might be the only yoga other than goat yoga or puppy yoga that I am willing to take.
Yoga Moves, a new kind of workout. Take part in yoga. The most
I mean, this is way more upbeat than I would assume to put with yoga. I mean, this is more jazzercise.
ancient system of healing, toning, and rejuvenating your body. Presented to you now with Alan Finger.
Alan Finger? Yeah. I don't know why that name makes me cringe just a little, but let's continue.
Join us.
What in the Timu? If Bob Ross and Chuck Norris had a baby, this guy would be him.
Fun. Be rewarded too. Time for you. Time to relax. Get a new look at the world.
Get a new look at the world. Nothing like having your taint expressly toward the camera. God bless the 70s and 80s.
A new look at you. Enlightenment isn't serious. Yoga moves will energize you.
I imagine that if one were of the inclination to take a gummy and then watch this video, it would be life-breaking or mind-breaking. Ooh, not the like.
Give you a more radiant look.
Ooh. And I can do ballet?
Strengthen and
Oh hell, I can't even do that on my own. Like, that is... Look, this is way beyond my skill level. Do we have like a pre-sobriety, like the field sobriety test yoga? Because I think that's the yoga level I'm at.
build your body.
Also, that hair can't be real. Why does he look like he has Ken doll Lego hair? Those are some Daisy. What in the flash dance?
Relieve tension and stress.
Okay, whoever can smile while doing that, because look, my sweaty behind would be like, not breathing, want to curse. I'm not going to be smiling.
Stretch and tone your muscles.
You know, because I always do a backward crab while smiling with my veneers at the camera. To be fair, I wouldn't be able to smile. I know my heart.
Release your inhibitions.
Wait a minute. Mr. Mo might want me to get into yoga. Release my inhibitions. What if my inhibitions are really close to my inner bitch and child, though? Like, what if I'm supposed to be releasing my inhibitions and I suddenly release my inner bitch, like my chakras were unaligned? I feel like there should be a warning, like what to do if you actually unleash your inner bitch instead of your child. I have only one question. How do I get Grok to make me dance like this with the After Effects? Oh.
And add.
Now, anyone who's done Pilates or any sort of the V, this is the devil right here. This shit is ridiculously hard to do. Now, I have never been able to make a V like her. Mine looks more like a parallel line, just slightly looking to bend. But this isn't, you know, supposed to be how you do a V. Those things are the devil, they suck balls, and I don't know how anyone can do them.
Balance to your life.
Oh, he's balancing.
This is what Tantra Yoga is going to show you. How to become free. How to balance your body.
I feel like the Illuminati shouldn't, the all-seeing eye in the, kind of culty stuff maybe shouldn't be in yoga. But sure.
In mind, reaching that inner inspirational place within every human being.
Ooh, again, question for the professor. So if my inner, spiritual place is connected to my inner shenanigans place, does that mean I can giggle? Like, because I feel like we probably don't want Mo to get in touch with her inner world.
How to stop that civil war that is being fought within your own being.
Wait a minute. I'm listening.
To reach an inner peace, an inner joy, an inner ecstasy.
Well, I actually have, there are battery-operated boyfriends where I can reach inner ecstasy. Like, I don't know that I'm going to do yoga, but okay. Also, anyone else creeped out that they were standing in the middle of a pyramid thing? Like, any other person wondering why they got this casting call?
Creating a energetic and youthful appearance and outlook to life. And the best part of it all...
That woman looks flippin' terrified. She's like, I was here for jazzercise. Look at this face.
And outlook to life. And the best...
When she suddenly realizes that this is the video that she's in, and she's like, oh my God, do I blink once or twice? Quick, what's the Morse code for SOS?
The best part of it all is...
It was right there, that second where you're like, oh crap, I've got to get out of here.
That enlightenment isn't serious. Feel yourself rise to a new and exciting dimension, filled with joy and ecstasy. Take this joy into the world with you. Have a super wonderful day.
Oh, wait.
Out of my way,
Bag
man.
it
I'm gonna
right.
gag on some
What's with him?
Same as everybody. We're always running out of those highly inconvenient paper bags.
And I'm always running back here, always getting more.
Oh no, not the bag it right rap. Come on, everyone, for your first job, where we're gonna make becoming a team member fun. Look, many things can be gleaned from the internet at the same time.
Some lady just dropped the bottom out of a paper bag up by the front door. It's like Gerbers everywhere, man. I ain't
When
gonna
you try
lose it.
feeding it to a kid sometime.
Hey, man, what's this? Must be 1,000 of them.
What the hell is this? I'm here for it. He touched a plastic bag and he got all creeped out. Also, is that the guy from, oh gosh, Orlando Jones? Is that Orlando Jones? Holy flippin' flapjack. We found him. His first... effects. Depending, let me...
Ain't gonna be gagging about paper bagging no more.
Down with paper. I love this. Let's bring back straws next.
1,000 to a box, feet don't gotta walk to that stock room door.
Not as much as before. Boxes make good walls, but what are you gonna do with rutabagas? Rutabagas.
If you don't want
Because the ascot is where cowboys go wrong.
a great big spill, oh, just pack it right, think short and fat. Half empty bags won't stand up straight, oh, large bags hold 30.
Oh my God, I should have watched this before every, grocery store decided that I was going to become my own cashier. Although I've always had a system: cans with cans, cold with cold, frozen stuff with frozen stuff. You know, you fill the bag full, you double bag it, you tie it so it doesn't go around your trunk. So I didn't really need this video, but you know, for the rest of us, I'm learning.
Things like that.
Ooh, Orlando. Not early rap. Is this going to be, and I say this lovingly, breaded or unbreaded? All that I'm thinking about is Ricada, which is not good.
With 1,000 to the box, 2 boxes at a time, 150 on the rack. Push down and pull, reach in the pack, and gain productivity. Pack the same.
Yeah, I would say that would be great, except this is bullshit, because if you try to bag your own shit at Walmart here lately, you try to just pull one bag and you get 13 bags that come with you. So productivity or not, you decide.
With the same wet and cold go together, so do chemicals and crashables. Don't block handles with the tall dudes. Push them to the back, leave the big bad boys alone. No, we build walls, build walls, build walls.
Building walls. Oh, this could be so different contextually. I love this. Let's build walls with groceries. This is why the war on poverty didn't go very well, because we built walls with groceries.
Fill 'em up, fill 'em up. When you can't build walls, build walls. Just fill 'em out and fill 'em up. Yeah. Fill it up, jam it in, grab it in, pull 'em up, fill it up.
Build walls, you guys. This is the best Inside Cat song I've ever heard. If you're stuck in a grudge, no, build those walls higher.
Fill it up, baby. Fill it up. You know we want. Yeah, fill it up.
This has been Bag It Right. I love this. I love this. This simulation continues to get better. My algorithm continues to get more blessed or cursed. You decide. And today we are starting on the Brian Walsh trial. Allegedly, it's going to start today. If it doesn't start today, we've got the hearings. I've got some information on what he pled to and what it could mean. I will be starting that at 10:30, and we will be diving into this case. I do have a bingo. I was like, what's that word for the thing that we play? Bingo. If you had train of thought came back, you can mark that now. But we have got a lot of stuff going on this week. Let's see, we've got the Walsh trial. We've got, this is the first week of December. So, you know, anyone who has hysterically forgotten that Christmas is coming. And today is Cyber Monday, in case you were forgetting. Now, I do have an update. I have nearly finished this. I still have the persnickety boxes that I missed when I was going through. But I am on to a new project because I can't sit still and not have something to do with my hands. So as soon as I get it all finished up and get those kind of orphan squares done, I will be washing off the ink and getting it ready just to go and kind of go in my box of projects that I need to get framed at some point or do something with. Mr. Mo and I are constantly arguing about where to put all my finished projects. And I'm like, well, I intend to put him everywhere. So yes, things are moving right along. The craft channel is probably realistically going to be starting in earnest near the start of the new year. After much consideration, Mr. Mo has really gone with it. We've talked about it and getting a new phone to do the recording. I've had this phone for 7 years. It still works okay for me, but looking ahead to have something to kind of go out and about and do all of the videography. We are looking currently at Cyber Monday. So realistically, looking at everything, it will probably be closer to January 1st when I will be more consistent with the craft thing. But that's because I actually want to do it right and have the right setup and all of that going to where I can really show you guys some fun stuff. And it might not be your jam. No one is required to go over to the crafting channel. It is simply something for me to kind of unwind it. Not that there's a lot of drama here, but there is a lot of crap stories that I do have to cover. And crafting is just kind of a way for me to unwind. So those are the housekeeping things. I will be sending you guys over so you can click on at least the Walsh trial. And then I have to restart my computer because it's doing something odd with the daggone coloration, because who the heck knows anymore? I'm like, I don't know what it's doing. That would require me to be, smart. Now, with a quick addendum or a quick, kind of for your information, as far as the Walsh trial, I have really not kept up with this case. I did go and look, we have a brand new notebook. But although I am pissed off because my one looks more like a 7, but that's just going to annoy me, not particularly you guys. But I do want to say that I don't have I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have, any theories or any speculations. I am going into this fairly unknowledgeable. So I will be taking notes. I will be trying to do breakdowns, but I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not here for Canton or whoever is going to show up. It's just me covering a trial. So that is what it is. But I did want to give you guys kind of a, little heads up that it's just a trial. So there you go. I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to work on breaking this stream into some videos and getting some stuff going. And then I will see you as we start the Walsh trial, if it starts today, because who knows? It's Massachusetts. We never know with them. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to be sober there. So we're back to Massachusetts. Let the drama commence. Bye, you guys.